Crying has absolutely no link to reality. Watch this first video and this very relevant information, and I want you to try to explain to me what this is all about. Fuck. Well, this is a guy who's trying to break his record on a live video for 100 hours straight of crying. Do you think he's going to make it? I hope so. It seems to me a worthy goal, a worthy and memorable goal for a human being to achieve before he dies. To make a stream, stand in front of the stream and cry for 100 hours straight. Why? I honestly don't know. I sincerely want to think because he needs money, definitely. Beyond that, I wouldn't understand why someone would say I want to cry for 100 hours straight on the stream. And in fact, after watching this video, I came up with other videos just as surreal or hyper-real, Baudrillard would say, that I found equally interesting to do this analysis. So after this guy did the 100-hour Cry-a-thon, I found this chick on Twitch with some filters on, thundering cornballs with her hair straightener while making sounds like emojis, answering the donations. See this hyper-real awesomeness. Check this out.
Yes, 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 yes. Fire, pop, amazing, meow, ooh, rah. No. Nikki, money gun. Wow, I got your name. A lot of gift for you. Gang. No. Yes, 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 yes. Ice cream so good. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, yes, yes. Brr. Take you Titi, take you F, take you Diana, take you One. Gang. Take you Courtney, flowers for me, beautiful. Gang.
Well, is there an explanation for this quasi-schizoid behavior? Surely there is. You're not going to like it, but there are definitely explanations for these proto-schizoid behaviors, right? First of all, they both have to be understood as nihilistic postmodern professions melted of meaning completely by the logic of capital, where really attention becomes monetizable, so entertainment becomes an end in itself with absolutely nothing meaningful in the background. Where images have taken on a life of their own, these ritualized acts of doing the crying in front of the camera, or the yes, or sticking out your tongue and so on, they become like these consumer modules. These little bites as if they were consumer snacks to entertain the consumer who is watching the streams of these two guys. And the truth is that this is explained quite well by Baudrillard. Baudrillard, one of my favorite post-structuralists, wrote at some point when representation tries to absorb simulation by interpretation, it creates a false representation of the simulacrum. But don't dive so much into this because I know this sentence is hard to understand without reading Baudrillard. But just dive into this. The stages that are needed to make the process of evolution of the image, and how the image gains a kind of autonomy against meaning. Look at this. First, the image reflects a profound reality. It means that originally when you saw someone crying, the meaning of that crying moved you deeply. That is, to see someone crying was, oh gee, what happened? Why is this person crying? On a second level, the image, the crying, masks the fact that reality has some flaws. You go to the theater and you see someone crying and, well, you are moved by the actors crying. But you say, something is going on with this crying because it is showing a kind of fracture in reality. In other words, we are already playing with the idea of crying, simulating crying. Then what crying does is that it masks the absence of reality. We cry in the movies because we no longer really cry because of the pains of the real world. And finally, crying has absolutely no link with reality. It's pure simulacrum, which is like what we just saw here on Twitch. If you look at it, just the way I also put it is, you see a person crying because something happened to him. That is, a child who has just lost his parents. Then in this case, the crying still reflects the pain of the real world, so to speak. On a second level, you see an actor doing a dramatic play crying. So, in that case, the drama of crying, what it does is to somehow show or mask that there is a flaw in our relationship to crying. with the idea of crying. In the third, television or in the cinema, we cry in the cinema and on television so that we do not have to cry and to forget that crying has disappeared in the world. And in the last one, in this case, Twitch, crying became a pure simulation. I mean, I'm going to cry for 10 hours straight to be seen. Why? There's no reason behind it. There is absolutely nothing left behind. The most complicated or the most melancholy thing about this historical moment in which we are living, of the social spectacle, is not the fact that ideology and images and spectacle mask or hide reality from us. But what is really depressing about all this is that reality itself seems to have ceased to exist in many ways. And simply what remains is the simulacrum with a sense of autonomy. It is the revenge of the object. That is, the emojis are making fun of us. That is, emojis dominated people, and now people act emojis. But really, those who have intentions are the emojis. The people no longer. People now only act out these simulacrum desires. That's the weird moment we live in. Imagine this video of this girl popping popcorn with her hair straightener on Twitter has 23 million views. I assure you that not even the most viewed video of the most viewed phrase of Baudrillard has 23 million views. Nothing more to add, Captain Human, nothing more to add.